She said, "God, why are you so insecure?" when I asked about her new male friend. And I said, "You're right. I should trust you." And I meant it. I really did. But what she didn't know was that I was about to test her trust in a way she never saw coming. And when she failed, the fallout was spectacular. Hey, everyone, I need to get this off my chest, and honestly just want to know if I'm the jerk here, or if karma just served up a massive slice of sweet justice. You know, it's funny how a single sentence can unravel a whole relationship. We were solid. 4 years together, 2 of them living in a nice little apartment. We made a home. My girlfriend, Natalie, she was the one I thought I was going to marry. I'm 31, work in tech, and I thought we had it all figured out. She was my person. Until 3 months ago. That's when she started a new job at some swanky marketing firm. And that's where he came in. Garrett, 32, another coworker. At first, it was no big deal. They were on the same team, so of course they talk. Coffee breaks, project meetings, normal stuff. But then it started to blur. Daily lunches, after-work drinks with the team, which always seemed to mean just her and Garrett. Then came the late-night texts. And I'm not talking about a quick, "Hey, good job today." I'm talking about long conversations that went on for hours. She'd be smiling at her phone, giggling, and when I'd ask what was so funny, she'd just say, "Oh, it's just work stuff with Garrett." It got to a point where I couldn't ignore it anymore. We were having dinner one night, and her phone buzzed for, I don't know, the 10th time. She picked it up, smiled at whatever he sent. I just said, "That's a lot of texting for a Tuesday night, isn't it?" And man, you could just see the shift in her. The exaggerated sigh. The dramatic placing of the phone on the table. "Ugh, why are you so insecure? Garrett is just a friend. We work together." I try to keep my cool. I'm not insecure. I'm just saying it seems like a lot of time to be spending with someone who isn't me. And then came the line that started it all. The one that still echoes in my head. "This is so unattractive. I thought you were more confident than this. Do you not trust me?" Suddenly, I was the bad guy. I was being controlling, paranoid, insecure. She went on for 10 minutes about how I was holding her back, how Garrett was helping her career, how a real partner would be supportive, not jealous. She painted me as this pathetic, clingy boyfriend. It was manipulative as hell, and in that moment, I just wanted the lecture to stop. So I broke. "You're right," I said, looking down. "I should trust you more. I am sorry." She smiled, a sweet, condescending little thing, and kissed me on the cheek. "That's better," she said. "I need a partner who's confident, not paranoid." Message received, loud and clear. My friendship with a woman? Inappropriate. Her friendship with a man? Professional networking. But the seed was planted. And the very next day, her best friend, Mia, called me. We'd always been close, like brother and sister, you know? She was having some drama with her roommate. Natalie was, surprise, at another after-work dinner with Garrett. So I offered to grab coffee with Mia to listen. I mentioned I'd been feeling a little disconnected from Natalie lately, and Mia got this look in her eye. "Yeah," she said. "She's been busy with the new job. That Garrett guy seems intense." "What do you mean?" I asked. "Remember her birthday drinks last month? The one you couldn't make?" Garrett was there. He was just hovering, and he made this weird comment about how lucky you were to have Natalie. It felt off. I had to force myself not to react. Natalie had told me he couldn't make it, so she lied. Okay, we started hanging out more after that. Just friends. Coffee here, lunch there. We were both kind of in a weird spot, and we leaned on each other for support. Nothing more. Then, last weekend, we went to the beach with a big group of friends. Natalie had canceled at the last minute. Surprise, surprise. Emergency project with Garrett. Mia and I ended up in a bunch of the group photos. We were just standing next to each other, laughing, nothing weird. Someone posted them on Instagram, tagged us both. That's when all hell broke loose. Natalie came home that night, phone in hand, absolutely livid. She shoved it in my face, the photo of Mia and me. "What the hell is this?" "It's a picture from the beach," I said, completely calm. "You were invited. You canceled for work." "You and Mia look pretty cozy," she snapped. "We're friends." She's her best friend. Friends don't pose like that. Her hand is on your shoulder. You're practically on top of each other. I just looked at the picture. We were standing next to each other. She had her hand on my shoulder. It was a group photo. And that's when I saw my opportunity. This is different, I said, mimicking her tone. How is this different from you and Garrett? The look on her face, it was pure shock then rage. That's completely different. We work together, and she's your best friend who I've known for 4 years. I shot back. So, by your logic, if I can't be insecure about you spending every day with Garrett, you can't be upset about a completely different person after the beach photos. Suddenly, she was very interested in my whereabouts. Where was I? Who was I with? It was the exact paranoia she had accused me of. The hypocrisy was almost impressive. On Wednesday, I met Mia for our usual coffee. I had told Natalie I was meeting a friend, but I didn't specify who. She didn't even ask. 20 minutes into our conversation, guess who walks in? Natalie, with Garrett. The look on her face when she saw us. It was like I had just slapped her in the face. It was priceless. She marched right over to our table, this forced smile on her face. Oh, what a coincidence, she said. Hey, babe, I replied, keeping my voice neutral. He just gave this uncomfortable nod, looking down at his phone. Mia, Natalie said, her voice a little too sweet. I didn't know you'd be here. Mia just shrugged. Just catching up with your boyfriend. How's that emergency project going? The one you canceled beach day for? Awkward silence. Garrett suddenly became fascinated with his phone screen. Natalie, trying to recover, said, Oh, we just finished, actually. Thought we'd grab some coffee to celebrate. Cool, I said. Well, don't let us keep you. She stood there for a few more seconds, then grabbed Garrett's arm and pulled him to a table where she could watch us. It was so transparent, so childish. The text started about 10 minutes later. Asterisk, how long have you been there? Why didn't you tell me you were meeting Mia? This is inappropriate. We need to talk. Asterisk, I didn't respond. I just kept chatting with Mia, who was trying not to laugh at the absurdity of it all. That night, Natalie came home ready for war. We need to set some boundaries, she announced. Okay, I said, leaning back. What kind of boundaries? I don't think you should be hanging out with Mia alone anymore. Why? It's inappropriate. I gave her my best deadpan stare. She's my friend, and Garrett's your coworker. So, by your logic, you shouldn't be hanging out with him alone, either. That's different. We work together. You grab drinks after work. You text all night. You go to lunch every day. That's not work. You're being paranoid again. No. I countered, the calmness in my voice making her even more furious. I'm applying your standards equally. Either we both can have friends of the opposite sex, or neither of us can. Pick one. She tried a new angle then, a more insidious one. Mia has been acting weird lately, she said, her voice full of feigned concern. I think she might have feelings for you. Based on what? I asked, genuinely confused. Just the way she looks at you. And she's been distant with me. I couldn't help it. Maybe she's distant because you keep canceling plans with her for Garrett, I said. That hit a nerve. Her face went red again. I can't believe you're taking her side, she shrieked. There are no sides, Natalie. We're all friends. Friends don't take beach photos like that, she yelled, storming off. But here's the most interesting part. Suddenly, Natalie's schedule cleared up. No more late-night work sessions. No more emergency projects. Garrett started eating lunch alone again. Instead, she started texting me constantly. Where was I? Who was I with? When would I be home? The same woman who told me I was insecure and unattractive for asking about her was now tracking my every move. Friday, I had lunch with some work buddies. Posted a photo of just the food on my story. Within minutes, the text started. Asterisk, who are you with? Is Mia there? Why aren't you answering? Asterisk. The lack of self-awareness was genuinely impressive. But the kicker came yesterday. Mia texted me. Asterisk, hey, just so you know, Natalie called me crying last night. Said I was trying to steal you. I tried to explain we're just friends, but she wouldn't listen. I think I need to step back for a while. I don't want to cause problems in your relationship. Asterisk. So now, Natalie had successfully pushed away her best friend because she couldn't handle me having the exact same type of friendship she insisted was totally normal when it was her and Garrett. The hypocrisy was suffocating. When she did it, it was professional networking, and I was insecure. When I did it, it was inappropriate and disrespectful. When she texted someone all night, it was work. When I grabbed coffee with a friend, It was emotional cheating. It was becoming clearer and clearer to me that this wasn't a phase. It wasn't just a new job. This was who she was. The person I thought I knew was gone, replaced by this double-standard-wielding, hypocritical stranger. And I was starting to think this relationship might have run its course. It was time to find out. And I had a feeling the truth was going to be a lot and honestly, it happened in the most ridiculous, predictable way possible. After Mia told me she was stepping back, I thought maybe things would calm down. Maybe Natalie would get the message. Nope. She just redirected all that energy into being suspicious of literally every woman in my life. My coworker Emma asked for help with a spreadsheet. Why is she asking you specifically? The barista at our regular coffee place smiled at me. She's always flirting with you. I like my cousin's Instagram post. Which one is she again? The pretty one. Meanwhile, guess what started happening again? Late night, work emergencies. Garrett needing urgent help with projects. The universe really does have a sense of humor. Last Thursday, I came home from the gym and found Natalie on my laptop. Not just looking at it. She had used my thumbprint while I was sleeping to unlock it and was going through my messages. "What you doing?" I said, my voice dangerously low. She didn't even look guilty. "Just checking something." "Checking what exactly?" "You've been weird lately. Distant. Maybe because you accuse my friend of trying to steal me, and you go through my phone every night," I said a little too calmly. She slammed the laptop shut. "I haven't been going through your phone. You literally asked to see it last night to check the time, and then scrolled through my texts. Why else would you be so defensive? Because you're hiding something? Why else would you be so defensive?" The projection was unreal. I sat down across from her. "Natalie, what are you looking for?" "Nothing. I know something's going on with you and Mia. Mia hasn't spoken to me in a week because you called her crying and accused her of trying to steal me." "Good. She should stay away. She's your best friend." "With my best friend. Best friends don't go after each other's boyfriends." "She didn't go after me," I said, my voice rising. "We had coffee and talked about her roommate drama and your obsession with Garrett." That was the wrong thing to say. She froze. "The truth, finally." "Natalie." "There it is," I said, pointing at her. "You're still jealous of Garrett." "I'm not jealous. I'm pointing out your double standard." "There's no double standard. Garrett and I are professionals." As if on cue, her phone buzzed. She grabbed it quickly, but I saw Garrett's name on the screen. "Professional text at 10 p.m. I asked. "It's about tomorrow's presentation," she said a little too fast. "The one you said was canceled this morning?" I asked, my voice flat. She froze. "Busted. It got uncanceled," she mumbled. I just stood up to leave the room. I was exhausted, but she followed me. "You know what?" she said, her voice shaking. "Maybe I should be hanging out with Garrett more. At least he doesn't judge me." "Go for it," I said, done with the game. "Maybe I will." Great. She grabbed her keys and jacket. "Where are you going?" I asked, a sense of dread creeping in. "Out. Since you clearly don't trust me anyway." "Natalie, it's 10 p.m. on a Thursday." "So?" "Garrett's having people over. I'm going to go where I'm appreciated." "People over? Or just you?" She glared at me. "You know what? It doesn't matter. You've already decided I'm cheating, so why not, right?" "I never said you were cheating. You're the one who's been acting paranoid since I had coffee with Mia. Why is it okay for you, but not for me?" "Explain it." Because it just is." And with that stellar argument, she left. Slammed the door so hard the neighbors probably heard it. She didn't come home that night. The next morning, I woke up to approximately 30 texts. A journey from anger to panic to anger again. 11:40 p.m. Asterisk at Garrett's. Having a great time. Asterisk 12 a.m. Asterisk everyone's asking where you are. I said you were being controlling. Asterisk 1 a.m. Garrett thinks you're being ridiculous, too. 2 a.m. Asterisk why aren't you answering? Checking up on me? Hello. Asterisk 7 a.m. Asterisk fine. Be that way. I'm coming home to get ready for work. We need to talk. Asterisk. I had gone to my brother's place. I needed space to think. When I got home around noon, she was there. Furious. "Where were you?" she demanded. "At my brother's." "Why didn't you tell me?" "I came home at 7 a.m. and you were gone." "You left. Said you were going to Garrett's." I figured you needed space, I said. Okay, you can't just disappear like you did last night. She actually stamped her foot like a child. I told you where I was going. You went to the guy you've been obsessed with for months. Yeah, that made me feel great. Nothing happened. I didn't say it did. You're the one implying it. No, I'm pointing out that you storm off to another man's house at 10 p.m. because I called out your double standard. Don't come home, then get mad that I wasn't sitting here waiting for you. She started crying, but it felt manipulative, not genuine. Natalie, I can't do this anymore, I said, the words finally tumbling out. You've changed. Ever since you started hanging out with Mia, you've been different. I grab coffee with her twice a week, I said, while you were with Garrett every day. It's not the same, she sobbed. You keep saying that, but you can't explain why. Because she's pretty and single, and you guys have inside jokes, and she looks at you. Garrett literally told you I was lucky to have you. Mia has never said anything inappropriate. That's not the point. Then what is the point? She wiped her eyes, suddenly calm. The mask dropped. The point is, I don't trust you anymore. I laughed. I couldn't help it. The audacity. You don't trust me? You went through my laptop. You checked my phone. You followed me to a coffee shop. You spent the night at another man's house. But you don't trust me? Yes. Okay. Then we're done. The words felt liberating. What? If you don't trust me after 4 years, after I've done nothing but be transparent while you've been sketchy with Garrett for months, then there's no point. This is over. You're breaking up with me because I have concerns about your friendship with Mia? No, I said, shaking my head. I'm breaking up with you because you're a hypocrite who has spent 3 months basically dating another man while calling me insecure, then lost your mind when I had coffee with your best friend. I'm breaking up with you because you don't respect me enough to be a decent partner. Silence. I had won, but it didn't feel like a victory. Just relief. I'll stay at my brother's this weekend, I said. Please be moved out by Monday. This is my home, too. Your name's not on the lease. You've been paying me rent. Legally, you're a month-to-month tenant. This is your 30-day notice. She stared at me like I'd grown a second head. You can't be serious. Dead serious. This isn't about the pictures or coffee with Mia. It's about the lying, the double standards, the accusations, and the complete lack of self-awareness. The coffee and pictures just revealed who you really are. I grabbed a bag and started packing some clothes. She followed me around the apartment, alternating between yelling and crying. This is insane. You're throwing away 4 years. You threw it away? I said, zipping the bag. When you decided your friendship with Garrett was fine, but mine with Mia was cheating. I'm just picking up the pieces. I headed for the door. She played her last card, the one she'd been holding since the night before. If you leave, we're done. I won't take you back. That's the idea, I said, and opened the door. I'll just call Garrett, she yelled after me. He actually wants to spend time with me. Go for it, I said, a slight smile on my face. I'm sure his girlfriend will love that. She froze. He doesn't have a girlfriend. He does, I said, looking her dead in the eye. Started dating her last month. Mentioned it when I ran into him at the gym. Guess he didn't tell you. The look on her face was almost worth the past 3 months of drama. And honestly, I should have done this years ago. Natalie moved out 2 weeks after our breakup. Not without drama, of course. She tried everything. Showing up at my brother's place crying, having her mom call me, even sending Garrett to talk man-to-man. That was awkward. He came by, looking incredibly uncomfortable, and just said, "Look, man, she just needs to move on." Turns out he was never interested and was desperately trying to set boundaries while she steamrolled right over them. He also said he never told her I was being controlling. He had actually said it seemed like we were having a communication issue, which she just twisted. Our mutual friends picked sides, which was illuminating. The ones who heard the full story were pretty unanimous in their "what did she expect" reactions. Her version, from what I heard, painted me as a controlling boyfriend who emotionally cheated with her best friend. The irony wasn't lost on anyone who knew about her and Garrett. Speaking of Mia, she reached out last week. Coffee turned into a 3-hour conversation about everything that went down. Turns out Natalie had been complaining about me to her for months, saying I was boring and didn't appreciate her, while simultaneously gushing about how dynamic and ambitious Garrett was. Mia had been trying to gently suggest Natalie was crossing lines, which is partly why Natalie started distancing herself from her even before coffee meetups. Mia said, "Honestly, I'm relieved you finally saw it. She's been like this in every relationship. The grass is always greener, but the second someone else waters their lawn, she loses it. We're taking things slow, but yeah, we're dating now. Not because I was secretly into her all along or some dramatic nonsense, but because through all this mess, we realized we have a genuine connection. She makes me laugh. She calls me out on my BS. And she doesn't play games." Natalie found out through Instagram. Mia posted a picture of us at a concert. The meltdown, according to mutual friends, was spectacular. Apparently, we planned this all along and betrayed her. The same woman who spent months essentially dating another man while living with me is now the victim because her ex and former best friend got together after she nuked both relationships. The last text I got from her before blocking her number was a novel about how I manipulated the situation and turned everyone against her. No acknowledgement of her own behavior. No recognition of the double standard. Just pure, unfiltered victim mentality. Garrett's actual girlfriend reached out to me last week. Turns out Natalie had been texting him increasingly inappropriate things, and she wanted to know if this was a pattern. I told her the truth. Natalie doesn't respect boundaries when she wants something. What she does with that information is up to her. As for me, I'm good. Better than good, actually. My apartment feels like mine again. I'm in a relationship with someone who doesn't treat trust like a one-way street. And I learned a valuable lesson. When someone shows you who they are through their double standards, believe them the first time. The funniest part? About a week ago, I ran into Natalie at the grocery store. She was with some new guy, hanging all over him. When she saw me, she grabbed his arm tighter and laughed extra loud at something he said. I just nodded and kept walking. Later, Mia told me Natalie had already been complaining about this new guy being clingy and insecure because he asked why she was texting so late at night. Some people never learn, but that's not my problem anymore.